Hey guys, we're stuck in traffic. It's bad. With the loud music, you guys know the loud music. That is very common in places like Mexico. And unless we stand up for what's America, coming soon to every city near you in America. LA is already like that. LA is already basically a weird version of Mexico, because it's a city that obviously still has all the resources and all the things that America has to, obviously, stores and everything else. But now you've got a whole different culture in LA. LA has turned into a whole different place. Not all of LA, obviously, not every area of LA, obviously. But LA is just a small sample of what could happen to America everywhere, if Americans do not fight back against its culture being destroyed, disrespected, destroyed, stepped on, all the things that America that is being done to America over the last 20 to 30 years, possibly even longer. I think this has been planned out for a while. Damn, it's traffic. This has been planned out for a while. I think people that want to take over America have been working on this for years. I really feel that way. So, I'm stuck in traffic now. It's Friday night. There's traffic everywhere. But I want you guys to understand something, okay? I want you guys to understand this. I just got back from Home Depot, so I got this mask on me. Because if you take it off, they won't agree. Sorry, I read your comment. They won't allow you to go anywhere. In Mexico, you can't walk in anywhere without a mask, right? So, I'm glad you agree with me, Tom, and I'll tell you why. Some of you may know a little bit about me, some of you may not. I had a really weird upbringing. I come from a very conservative, very, very, very conservative Mexican family. Whose main focus was sorry, I got a comment about Marjorie Taylor Greene right now, and it made me smile. Very conservative family. My grandfather was, just everyone extremely conservative. So that's how I grew up, right? I grew up in a very Catholic European Mexican family. Very racist family, to be honest with you. Just how Mexicans are sometimes, Mexico is very racist, one of the most racist countries in the world. And then, for some reason, don't ask me how, I ended up being around people that were the complete opposite from that, Obviously, they weren't my family, but I happened to be around them between the time I was 5 to 10 years old. I always wondered why. It was just the circumstances at the time, And for many years, I wondered, why was I around those people? They were a bad influence with me, Total opposite from my own family. If you look at my family and you look at them, they're completely opposite people, right? And I always wondered why. Like, that was weird, you know, that I was around those people at a time where development is it's so influential for the rest of your life, you know. One of them, my dad, used to call their family the Flintstones, just so you get an idea of how they lived and how they operated in life. The Flintstones, he used to call them, because they were like the Flintstones, right? It was weird. And I always wondered why. Why did I grow up around those people that were completely the opposite from my own family? Combative, loud, aggressive at times, very aggressive at times, you know, ratchet, nacos, you know. And I always said, why did those people come? Why was I exposed to that? It doesn't make sense, you know. Why was I exposed to that? Didn't really fit in with who I was, you know, especially growing up in Mexico City. And those people were not in Mexico City. They were in a small town outside, 3 hours away from Mexico City. And again, I used to really, really kind of resent having been around those people for some reason, right? For years. I mean, this is still maybe up until 4 years ago, not that long ago. And I was like, that's weird that I was around those people, right? Hey, bear with me, because I'm getting somewhere. I'm not just going on and on and on about the same thing. So, recently, after I got involved in politics, and, you know, maybe even before that a little bit, I realized that without those people being such a huge influence in my life, because of the age range, the age period where I knew them at, between 5 and 10 years old, without those people, I wouldn't have maybe the courage or the attitude that I have, that has gotten me to get up and fight for what I believe in. Maybe I'd still be obviously a conservative like my family, you know. Obviously Catholic, obviously against abortion, obviously against so many things, you know. But I don't think I'd have the courage to stand in front of 70 migrants that are beating me up and be like, I'm not afraid of you, you know. They really made, you know, they really pointed that out, you know, in the Daily Beast and MSNBC special about me, in some other article that they wrote about me, or some podcast about me, where they were like, she was out there and telling them that she wasn't afraid of them, you know. Guys, it's not that I'm not afraid. Obviously, when 70 people are trying to kill me, and to the point where, you know, some cab driver has to throw me into his car because he knows they're going to kill me if he doesn't, and then the police has to come and get me out because they know they're going to kill me unless they take me out of there. It's the fact that I grew up around, again, during that period of time of my life, I grew up around those type of people, and somehow that taught me things. You know, those people didn't grow up with a comfortable, you know, nice life, kind of like, you know, most of my family had. They grew up fighting for space with their neighbors. They grew up fighting for food with their brothers and sisters. They grew up fighting for things in life, you know. And by me watching that between that time, at the time I used to be like me and my mom were like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? And we used to really make fun of it and laugh at it. It was funny to us. It was funny to a lot of us. But to me, it was a learning experience. And if you met my mom or her sisters, or my grandfather, or there's a dead dog, or my grandmother, or my other grandmother. It would none of my personality would make sense. It really wouldn't make sense. But think about it. During those formative years, which are, again, in the development of any person, they are so important. Being around that obviously had a huge influence in my personality. There are traits and characteristics that we are born with, and there are those that we acquire. And whatever, maybe some things I was born with, but I definitely acquired things from those people between the age of 5 and 10, which is right before I moved to America. And that and I have carried that with me my whole life. And that's why anytime anybody attacks me, especially when they attack me viciously, I am the way that I am. It doesn't take away from the fact that it doesn't take away from who I am, who I really am as an essence of who I am. But I was taught at that age that if anybody attacks you, you have to fight back. You can't hold it in. And Candace is a very nice lady, and she's been watching me for years, and she knows who I am, and she knows my heart. I think Candace knows my heart. I think you do, Candace. I see what you, I'm not gonna, I see what you do sometimes, and I think to myself, oh my God, this lady must really know my heart, because she wouldn't do what she does unless she really knew my heart, So you know my heart, Candace, and you know what I'm about, and you know what my mission is, and you know how I feel, and you know my heart. But you also know that if anybody there threatens the welfare of my animals, my welfare, the welfare of my family, I will fight back. I will fight back like you've never seen me fight before. I know that you guys want me to stop talking about this Mexican criminal. I get it, guys. I understand. And I make it seem like it's fun. It's all fun and games, but it's not, okay? This guy has put my life in danger several times. This guy has done everything within his power to destroy me. That he has failed is a whole different issue. He's failed because he's an idiot. He hasn't failed because he hasn't tried. That's why attempted murder is a crime that you go to jail for. You don't just go to jail for murder. You go to jail for attempted murder. You go to jail for the intent of doing something, not just carrying it out or succeeding at it. You go to jail for attempted murder, right? It's the intention that counts. I think Candace has been watching for years, as so many others have, and I'm just mentioning her because she's here. And you know that my mission in life, Candace, is way too strong and too great to let some Mexican thug fella destroy me or try to, I'm going to share with you, and I'm sure as the years go on, more and more will come out regarding this subject, okay? Listen to this. As you know, social media is a brand new thing, right? I mean, I don't even think it's 10 years old just yet. Influencers, how old is the term influencer? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? I mean, we're babies at all of this, guys. I started when the word influencer just came out, like the day before, okay? I would love to have an actual record of how many people, influencers or public people, have committed suicide over the last 4 years, or have gotten into accidents for drinking and driving, or have overdosed and ended up in the hospital, or have become alcoholics, or have become drug addicts, or have become something, okay? Something that they were not before. Social media could be such a great thing, and it could also be the most lethal thing out there, okay? You could be a star on social media, yeah? And the bottom line is people can destroy you through social media and the internet. People can take your life. I'm going to tell you something. With about 10% of what's been done to me, others in the past have committed suicide. Have you guys seen the pages that they make of me? Have you? Or, I mean, maybe some of you have. Have you seen the shows they make of me? Have you seen the cartoons they make of me? Have you seen the songs they make of me? Do I look like I'm not sleeping at night? Sometimes I do. But I do. I sleep at night. And someday, soon, because this has to come out hopefully soon, many will learn how it is that I've been able to deal with it without committing suicide. Sometimes it's not just suicide as far as taking your own life. People become alcoholics from this, guys. People overdose. All kinds of things. Just 2 months ago, a 21 or 22-year-old committed suicide over social media bullying, and she was beautiful. She was Canadian, I believe, or European, I'm not sure. I think Canadian. Beautiful girl committed suicide over the social media bullying. And you may think, oh, you got to be stronger than that. Yeah. Once you go through it, you can tell me how strong we should be. Guys, I've been dealing with this with humor for the last 2.5 years. A lot of it, not that it's easy, but I always try to find the humor in it, When some deported drug trafficker is making a video about me and trying to destroy my life, I try to look at his flaws, Did anybody ever tell you this? When you want to laugh at something, picture that person naked. Not that I'm picturing him naked, but I'm just saying, did anybody ever tell you that? Picture that person naked, and that way they won't be as scary, or when you're doing a job interview, or when you're doing an audition or something, whatever. Remember that I have training in analyzing people. I think I've shared this with you before. I went to 3 different academies. I went to Stella Adler, I went to Lee Strasberg, and I went to American Academy of Dramatic Arts. So if there's anything I have is training in analyzing people, especially characters, And I suck at doing accents, and I suck at doing impressions sometimes, especially when there's feelings involved, As far as like anger, because feelings could be anything. It could be anger, it could be whatever, it could be all kinds of things, right? And I suck at doing impressions sometimes, but I analyze the guy for who he is, aside of the negative feelings that I have. I analyze the fact that he's an idiot, right? So it's like, okay, this idiot tried to, and that's why some people laugh, and some people are like, oh my God, we're so over this, But what I'm trying to tell you is that whether it's them or some other group, they can take you to really self-destroy, whether it is through addictions, suicide, pushing yourself too much, stress, because stress can turn into an actual disease of the organs after you experience so much stress, depending on, your health conditions, your physical conditions. It doesn't matter. Stress could lead to so many adverse reactions in your body. So one of the people that saw me deal with this with humor for the last 2.5 years was Baldy. He's a good friend of mine. And I think even at the time, he used to kind of question, he's not watching, but maybe he will be watching later. He used to kind of question at the time if I was really laughing at some of the stuff that was being put out there, or I was just putting on a show, and one day I was going to wake up dead from taking, 10 sleeping pills and maybe a bottle of vodka or something. I hate vodka, but I'm just saying, that I'm just thinking what he could have been thinking back 3 years ago. No, I was really laughing at it. Here I am 3 years later. And the way I've dealt with it, guys, is with humor, okay? Can you imagine if after the first hit piece came out on me by this deported felon and his friend Cindy Gomez, I would have tried to stay normal, like no big deal, like nothing was going on, when inside it was supposed to be destroying me, right? And I would have tried to move past it. They weren't going to stop. You really think these people are going to stop? You really think the Democrats are going to stop destroying America? No, they're not going to wake up one day and say, let's stop our agenda that's making us trillions of dollars. Let's just stop today. Let's be nice to the patriots and close the borders. Let's be nice to the patriots and stop illegal immigration. Let's just do that. They're not going to do that. They're never going to stop. Evil doesn't stop unless you stop it. The first show that ever came out about me, it was supposed to be absolutely detrimental to my career, to my future, to my persona, to my reputation. It was supposed to destroy me. I watched 30 seconds of it, and I picked up on the traits of the woman making the show, and I knew what her complexes were. Because that's how I was trained. I was trained for that. I was trained to break characters down and analyze them. So I knew exactly what her weaknesses were. So instead of attacking her rhetoric and going back and forth and her saying she's a human trafficker and then me saying, no guys, I swear I'm not a human trafficker. No guys, I swear I'm not a pedophile. I swear I don't have ties to terrorists and, burn houses down and do witchcraft, What I did was the way I dealt with it was by making fun of her. I was like, I can't even remember what I did. Long story short, before you know it, instead of this group of criminals that came together to destroy me and drive me crazy, I was driving them crazy by making fun of them. You see how you combat this stuff? Which is why I was infatuated with President Trump, because he used to make fun of the people that intellectually, and let's just be honest, and not intellectually, but just experience, in so many ways had so many advantages over him. But I could guarantee his IQ is much, much higher than most of those people in his life experience. He may not speak like Barack Obama. He may have not gone to whatever universities and wherever else Barack Obama went to, or Joe Biden. He may not have a PhD in philosophy and this and that, or law degree or whatever. It doesn't matter. He knew how to run the country. He knew what America was about, and he knew what he was fighting for. I don't care how he spoke. I don't care what his hair looked like. I don't care what he looked like. Not that he didn't look good, because he does look good, and he dresses amazingly, and he always has. But it wasn't about the way he spoke. It was about his intentions, and it was about the way he handled things. Did you ever see any country threaten war against us in 4 years? No, I did not. Why? Because they knew he was strong enough and he was going to fight back. They knew that about him. Whether he spoke as eloquently as Barack Obama or Joe Biden or this one or that one, it didn't matter. The bottom line is that no country was going to mess with us, right? Am I correct? Did anybody try messing with us in 4 years? No. He was the first president to make friends with this one and that one, Saudi Arabia and North Korea, and he was a hero because they were afraid. It wasn't about the way he spoke. They were afraid of his real IQ, of what he would really do, the way he handled things. You saw him at that summit, pushing people out of the way. Get out of the way. I'm here, and whatever else. So for those of you who do not understand why it is that I handle the things that I do and that I sound obnoxious and self-centered, Guys, I'm fighting. Whether you see it that way or not, whether you see me, and again, some of you may say, take the high road. I get it. I understand. But we're up against criminals here. We're up against evil. We're up against some of the biggest criminals in the world. Maybe Juan Rodriguez knows what we're up against, since he's Hispanic, and most of the fights that we have right now, especially mine, is against the deported Mexican felon. They'll stop at nothing. They'll kill you. Why do you think Tijuana is the most dangerous city in the world? Do you think it's easy living and being at the most dangerous city in the world? Listen to what I'm saying. Most dangerous city in the world. How is it that I've been able to spend so much time in Tijuana over the last 13 years without getting killed? Why? Because I know what I'm doing. Why? Because I know how to fight back. Why? Because I know how not to portray fear. Why? Because I know who to mess with and who not to mess with. Which is why I told Ben Bergquam 3 years ago, stay away from that guy. I don't trust him. And the way I dealt with all of this and have dealt with this is with humor. Why? Because as smart, as these people think they are, guess who ended up getting outsmarted? And it was a group of people. It was a mob of people. And they weren't just doing it on the internet. They were doing it on the internet. They were doing it at courts. They were doing it through the phone. They used to call me. And I started making fun of them. And before you knew it, I broke them. Instead of them breaking me, I broke them. So much that a couple of them deleted their pages a couple days ago. Nobody told them to delete their pages. They did it all on their own. So much that they ended up with criminal charges. The people that accused me of being a criminal. So much that I haven't seen a show being made in the last year and something, after they used to make video after video after video against me. So much that another one withdrew 5 violations to a restraining order against me, and the restraining order itself, obviously, because it was fake. Did I have a lawyer? Mm-mm. Did I have did the case have to go to a hearing? Mm-mm. It didn't. Case was never even heard. So if that makes me obnoxious or self-centered, and that's how I come across, I think with time, you will understand my psychology, my strategies, and my reasons more and more as time goes on. Because when you're dealing with criminals that lie at courts, when you're dealing with criminals whose intention is to kill you, you got to be really, really, really tough to know how to deal with them. Again, look up the records. Look up influencers committing suicide over the last 5-6 years. Over bullying. Look up cyberbullying. How destructive it is for your mind. And I'm not going to go into anybody's personal life at this point. But I can tell you these people have caused a lot of damage. A lot of collateral damage they've done by trying to destroy me. And I can tell you that somebody told me to go get them rats. And I will. And just because I deal with it with humor doesn't mean that it's not dangerous. Doesn't mean that it's not serious. Can you imagine if somebody took your life and put it on a show for thousands of people to see? It started making fun of your family, your children, your house, what you look like, started exposing your private conversations. How many of you have had private conversations with people you thought you could trust, and suddenly they're out there on the internet for tens of thousands of people to see? How many of you? Probably not that many of you, And again, these are all people that I've met through the MAGA movement. These aren't my friends. These are all just people that I met through the MAGA movement, And a lot of people in the MAGA movement have become my friends, obviously, But so when you start dealing with all of that, then you'll understand what it is to deal with something as destructive as social media bullying. And it's not that I'm obnoxious. I'm a fighter. And if destroying me means destroying my mission, my animals, don't mess with my animals, you know? I go through hell and back to help those animals. You really think I'm gonna let people, some thug, some hungry, unemployed thug, target my animals? Mm-mm. Because he's greedy, because he refuses to get a job? No. Mm-mm. I may not have children, and so I can't say, oh, you know, you're not gonna come after my children. But again, your older cat is being a weirdo, Candace. I'm a fighter, and because of that fighter nature that I learned from those weird people between the age of 5 and so again, I've got my essence and I've got my biological side, and then I've got that other side that I learned during those years where for some reason God wanted me exposed to. I don't know, you know. And now, I mean, I do know why now. Now I'm starting to understand why, you know. And I have no doubt whatsoever that just as it's gotten, you know, that learning has gotten me through the last few years of this aggravated criminal attacks, of these, you know, this aggravated criminal attacks, it'll get me through a lot more, including government. And I'm sure I'm gonna face a lot more battles, I'm sure. But I have no doubt in my mind that those years and those experiences happened for a reason, you know. And again, yeah, I have my essence, I have my heart, I have my education, I have my family. But you really think evil cares? You really think people who want to destroy the world care about my heart and my education and my kind-heartedness? They don't care. They couldn't care less. They'll stop at nothing to destroy you. They're going to stop at nothing to try to destroy America. At nothing. It's already happening, you know? And the only thing I regret as far as President Trump is that I feel towards the end of his presidency, he lost his essence. I love who Donald Trump is because he's real. You know, the reason why he was elected in 2016 was because he didn't care. He went for it. And he said, what the hell do I have to lose? I'm going to go for it. I was there the day he was inaugurated. I went to the Freedom and Liberty Ball. I was 10 feet away from him when he danced his first dance with Melania. He danced to I Did It My Way by Frank Sinatra because he did it his way. But unfortunately, government corrupts you. Government changes you. People have to keep this fake image. And towards the end of his presidency, I feel he did just that. And not that he was trying to keep up an image, but they confused him so much that he didn't, like, I feel if it would have been up to him, he would have dealt with the George Floyd incident in a whole different way. I think if it would have been up to him, he would have dealt with the pandemic in a whole different way. But remember, he had people all around him telling him what to do. He did. He had people all around him telling him what to do. And, you know, we are where we're at right now. But I think my message to you is never lose who you are. No matter, I mean, and a lot of people are not going to agree with you, you know. A lot of people are not going to like the way you handle things. But, again, the way I've handled things in the last 3 years, it's worked for me. At this point, I shouldn't even be on the internet anymore. I should be probably dead in the gutter somewhere, you know. And probably weighing 700 pounds somewhere and without any hair and with because that's how they wanted me. That's what they do. Or dead, you know. Instead, I'm strong. I kept on going. They backed off. They backed down. Some of them have died, and I'm still here. And those who have not been strong enough have really suffered the consequences of all of this. And I just hope that these people pay for everything they have done. Yes, Tom, be true to yourself. And I just hope these people pay for everything they have done, and they will. Some of them already have. They will continue to pay. Those rats will continue to pay, because what they've done is just, it's dirty as dirty can be. I mean, these people have no limits, none whatsoever. They're filthy. And again, if humor was my way of dealing with it, if breaking down their characters was my way of dealing with it, if making fun of them was my way of dealing with it, so be it, you know? Because there's nothing wrong with making fun of someone who's trying to kill you or trying to destroy your life. But what they've done is committed major crimes. Conspiracy to commit a crime, especially assault someone such as they've done with me, is a felony. You know, stalking is a felony. Cyber stalking is a felony, which is what they do to me all day long. But yet here I am, and I continue to go, and even just the most simple things to run for Congress are not easy, you know, and running pages on the internet is not easy, you know, and having a dog shelter with 37 dogs and 20 something, it's not easy, and I'm doing it all. I should be non-functional right now with everything they've done, but yet here I am, without makeup, doing a live video, talking to all of you, and facing all of this head on. I didn't take 5 hours getting ready today. I got up, I took a shower, I brushed my hair, and out the door I was, okay? Because my mission is more important than anything, than what I look like or what people say about me or anything. But anybody that comes at me like that, legally especially, you know, that comes at me, slandering me, trying to destroy me, I'm going to go after. I'm going to fight back. I'm not going to back down. And it's the same thing I'll do in government. And that's why they're afraid of me. Okay? I will talk to you soon. Thank you, guys. And no, I'm not obnoxious. And no, I'm not self-centered. I'm a fighter. And I'll be damned if I let anybody try to kill me, my family, or what I believe in. And one of the things that I'll fight for the most is for the greatest country in the world. Okay? Bye, guys.